Definitely, Mumbi, we can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear us as well?
Mumbi,
yes,
getting
yes,
you
I can
loud
hear you.
and
Mwangi
clear.
Maina?
Getting you loud and clear from Mombasa, Mumbi.
How is Nairobi?
Nairobi is fine. Nairobi is cool. We hope you're enjoying in Mombasa, and we are very happy to have this session of good vibes from Nairobi, from Mombasa.
Amazing. Let's start with you, Mwangi Maina. What have you been up to today, and what is your story all about? Good vibes, positive vibes, I hope.
Wow, Mumbi, today we are focusing on a stateless Shona girl in the country who has scaled the heights of education. She has beaten all odds to be the first Shona girl who is stateless in the country to make it to primary school, to make it to high school, and later to be admitted at Kenya's most prestigious university, the University of Nairobi.
Amazing, amazing. Let's take that story, and then we'll be coming back to discuss it with Mwangi Maina and David Mudoka.
Shona community has lived in the country for 3 generations, having arrived in the country in the 1960s as missionaries from Zimbabwe. They are stateless and have no nationality. They struggle to access essential basic services out of lack of any identification document.
My name is Nosizi Reuben Dube. I'm 20 years old right now, and I come from the stateless Shona community in Kenya.
However, Nosizi Reuben Dube has entered the records of history of her stateless community to be admitted at a Kenyan university.
It's like you are a ghost in the country that you are in. You don't exist. It has been a great and challenging journey for me to reach where I am at the university level.
Despite a myriad of problems they have gone through, Nosizi and her mother were determined to stand out and pave way for hundreds of Shona children who cannot go to school. A first-year economics student at the University of Nairobi is full of hope that one day she's gonna bring glory to her community. This, she says, has been made possible by the United Nations Human Rights Commission and the Kenya Human Rights Commission, where she accesses internet to study online this time of COVID-19 pandemic.
The COVID-19 conditions, we have to stay at home and study online. So currently studying online, I don't have the Wi-Fi at home, so waking up daily, each and every day, early in the morning, to go to Kenya Human Rights Commission to access the Wi-Fi there, it's a challenge because at times the fare might not be there. So for that day, you don't attend any class. I just have to stay. Like there was a time I stayed a week without attending my class. So you find when you get back to class, other people are ahead of you.
During her free time, the fourth born in a family of 8 children spends her time teaching her sisters, hoping that one day they will scale the heights of education too. Her mother, Angeline Rumai Mutenda, unable to attend school when she was younger, vowed to do everything to ensure that Nosizi and her siblings go to school. Nosizi says her mother is her greatest motivation.
Nilikuwa nataka nisome lakini sikuweza kusoma. Na sitapatia wazazi wangu kosa. Kwa nini hawakunipeleka mapato? Ndilikuwa shida. Nikakamua nikasema Nosizi asome.
Really inspires me so much because as a person, the kind of challenges that she has gone through raising us with the stateless status and the low living standards, the poverty status, she's really a person who if she wants to do something, nothing can.
For the budding economist, not even the sky is a limit. She is determined to shine and shine together with her siblings and the entire Shona community of about 3,500 individuals living in Kiambu County.
Kusoma na sisi tuwaonyeshe njia kwa hata mtoto msichana anaweza kuwa na dreams zake, anaweza fanya anything yani akisoma.
You have to be bold and courageous so that you can achieve what you want in life. Yeah.
The Shona community has been pushing for recognition of citizenship as Kenya's 45th tribe. Mwangi Maina, TV 47. Nairobi.
Indeed, an amazing story there by our very own Mwangi Maina. And I can't help but just think and be positive that, you know, she's going to pave way for so many other young people, you know, especially women in the, you know, Shona community. Before we get your sentiments, Mwangi, Mudoka, what do you think of the story?
I mean, we must definitely give it to Nosizi for what she's done. You know, Mumbi and Mwangi, she's in a country where all systems are basically against her pursuit for education, basically because of her tribe. But she decided, you know, to defy the odds and do what no other Shona girl has been able to do. And I must give it to her parents as well, because the parents decided to give Nosizi what they couldn't get. And in as much as I said before, the systems were against her pursuit for education, she said, I don't care about the odds. I have to do this, you know, and be an example to other budding and enthusiastic Shona girls who want to pursue education to the highest degree ever. And the sky is the limit to Nosizi, Mombi.
Mwangi Maina, what was going through your mind when you were doing this story? I mean, this is a stateless woman, never, you know, what was going through your mind?
Mumbi and Muthoka, this story coincides on the International Universal Day for Children. And it's a motivation not only to the Shona girls, but to every young girl from the Shona community and in the Kenyan society who are not recognized that whatever they set their minds to, with hard work and determination, they can achieve it. This young girl, Nosizi Reuben Dube, having parents who have stayed here in the country for as long as they have stayed here, they cannot have essential services, even accessing hospitals, accessing schools. So it is a wake-up call to everybody that if this girl, as stateless as she is and her family, if she can achieve what she has achieved, to go to the most prestigious university in the country and to pursue economics, then there isn't anything that we cannot achieve. So Mumbi, it's a very encouraging story. It's a very it's a story that brings us live to understand that, wow, if this girl can do it and she doesn't have everything that we have, then for us who has everything, then we can achieve what we want.
And you know, Mumbi,
you know, it's amazing. Yes, Madoka?
Somebody might just wonder, what does it mean for a simple girl to go to the university? This is a girl who, you know, she's been stateless. Her identity has been cast under a cloud of doubt over time, but she's been able to defy that. And as I said, yes, we definitely have to give it to her. And it's a high time also, I think, the Shona people get their much deserved identity. It's been long overdue, Mombi. And
I think Mudoka and Mombi, as we recognize these Shonas in their quest for the 45th tribe of Kenya, we have to realize that these people never came here as refugees or as people seeking asylum. These people came here to spread the gospel as missionaries in the 60s. So I think it is unfair for the country not to recognize. I think it is long time overdue that these people have stayed here for quite long. Yes,
right,
Mumbi.
and you know, it's just some of the things we take for granted, like citizenship. Mwangi, Mudoka, we're citizens. There's somebody, a young lady who, you know, is stateless. She's not a citizen of Kenya. She's fighting for that, beating all the odds, going all the way to finish university. It's a challenge for us young people, and kudos to her for such an amazing job. Thank you so much, Mwangi Maina, for that report. Mudoka, what have you been up to today?
Well, Mumbi, the long and short of it is about a woman who spent most of her childhood in the streets, and when enough was enough, she decided to pursue her chef ambitions. From the streets to the kitchen, it could be quite a journey. I had, you know, very burning questions to know how she managed it. And as if that is not enough, she's decided to give up to the very society she spent most of her childhood at. She runs feeding programs, counseling programs to street families. And you know, Mumbi, it is a time when street families have been quite abandoned, not only by the country, the government, but also by us. And we can't blame it entirely on us, because I understand the COVID-19 pandemic has had a toll order, especially economically and financially, on most of us. But this lady, determined as always, as ever, has decided that she's not going to let people who she once was wander off into misery. Mombi, you can take it away.
All right, let's take a look at that story.
Friday mid-morning, we find Mary Wanjiru preparing a lot of porridge, enough to feed tens of people in her kitchen at her house in Mlango Kubwa, Mathare Slums, Nairobi. You would wonder why the mother of four will be preparing a lot of porridge despite having a lean-sized family. We wonder too, but once the porridge is properly cooked, Wanjiru is joined by a small team of young men and women, some of whom carry the porridge that has now been carefully packed in 10-liter and 20-liter jerrycans. I joined the entourage with a 10-liter jerrycan full of porridge in tow as we sneak through the muddy Mlango Kubwa alleys to a nearby free space at the heart of the Mathare slums that is incessantly frequented by street families. Once we set foot there, the process to pour the porridge on each cup, belonging to every street boy, girl, man and woman, kicks off just as the hunger pangs in the stomachs of these street families begin to strike. Feeding street families in Mathare has been Wanjiru's routine for years now, a custom she says she has no plans to halt anytime soon. Wanjiru's soft spot for the street urchins is striking, and when we finally have a sit down with her, there is only one question at the top of my mind. What is the source of her affection towards a group that is often dealt a wide berth by the rest of the society?
Mimi nilikuwa kwa street girl wakati ni kama miaka 15. Nilikuwa nikiwa mdogo, na hiyo wakati nilikuwa kwa street ni maisha ni ngumu. She confesses street life has been her only life until 15 years ago when she hung her unbearable street boots in pursuit for a life with a trajectory. And as we walk down the memory lane through her photo album, she tells me how the journey to where she is, a reliable, competent chef in Mathare with an events-packed calendar, has not been a smooth ride. Wow, how do you think those people are? Ni wengi. At her prime, she says she will not tire to send the elevator back down. Her devotion is to create a better world for the people who are what she once was. Hiyo wakati ilikuwa ngumu, lakini kama saizi pia wasichana kuna vile tunawaongelesha na kuna vile ninawezanga kuwashika mkono na watoa kwa hiyo klasi yenye wanaona kama wawezi na waonyesha wanaweza. Picha kama hii she has as well managed to provide a roof over the heads of up to 20 girls who were once homeless. Among them is Evelyn Adhiambo, once homeless and battling with drug addiction. Her life was going south until she met Wanjiru. The mother of two, now a coffee hawker, reveals to us the impact their meeting has had on her life.
Mimi nilikuwa ngabezi nikivuta msi, nilikuwa na duru pale pango. Lakini Shiro alikuwa amenichukua, alikuwa ananiongelesha, ananiadvise vile naweza fanya.
On the gender flip side, John Mungai, once a notorious pickpocket in Mathare, narrates to us how two events prompted him to shun thievery.
Tulikuwa tuko shosholo ingine na hapa, tukanyang'anya msee mwingine simu. Alafu kulikuwa gidhaa saa 11:30. Hiyo simu asubuhi, kumbe sikuwa najua mzee hupika kwa hoteli fulani. Akaenda akaniuliza kaa naweza kuwa na kasimu yote nauza, nikamwambia niko nazo. Nikampatia, sikuwa najua ni yake. Hapo na alikuwa anapika mandazi, niliona mjamaa ameingia na kikombe na mafuta ya mandazi. Akaniambia kumbe ni nyinyi mlikuwa mnataka kunidunga usiku mkininyang'anya simu yangu.
And amid the sharp increase in street families in recent times, partly due to the coronavirus pandemic, Wanjiru hopes that the numbers will one day decline, calling on the government to set up structures to save thousands of street families from the dangerous dynamics of the streets. In a country where the streets families' menace is rapidly worsening each passing day, Shiro, as she is popularly known here at Mlango Kubwa in Mathare, has devoted her life towards giving back to the very society that nurtured her at a very tender age. And in as much as the impact, in her own words, is not as big as she will want it to be, she says it's still a step towards the right direction. David Muthoka, TV 47 at Mathare,
Nairobi.
Amazing. And you know, they say that misery loves company, Muthoka. That's not the case for Wanjiru, is it?
Well, it's definitely not the case for Wanjiru. And we have to give it to her for being the chef with a big heart. She doesn't earn much, definitely. And the much she earns in this case, almost all of it is spent on, elevating the lives of these people who we definitely, most of us and most of Kenyans turn a blind eye to, turn a deaf ear to, rather. Mombi.
Amazing. Mwangi Maina, what do you think about
I think Wanjiru not only has a big heart, Muthoka, but it is such a big and a beautiful heart.
Yes.
Because you can imagine whatever she's doing, not only feeding the street families, but she is also partaking in rehabilitating them. Yes. Look at that gentleman, look at that lady, giving their life encounter, and at the moment they met with Wanjiru, and their lives were never the same again. So we have to give it up for her, for whatever she's doing, and much, much more in creating a ripple effect. Because when she is rehabilitating these two, they will also go and bring other two street children, and then we'll have a pool of former street children who are changing the narrative and shaping the country. And so in a few years to come, if we embrace these and we continue with these big, beautiful hearts, then we'll not have any children in the streets of Nairobi and in other parts of the country. Muthoka.
You know, Mumbi and Mwangi, the streets are no longer safe, as we might say once were. And having somebody who is constantly concerned about what is happening in the streets, making it a routine to go down there and spend a time with people whom are often, ignored by the rest of the society is not a main fit.
Sure.
So definitely, we have to give it up for Wanjiru.
And Muthoka, I think in Good Vibes, what we have always said that it doesn't matter whatever you have. A cup of porridge, it might be seen that something that is too little, but to those street children, it means a lot, because probably that cup of porridge is what they depend on from morning to evening, and so they know tomorrow at such a particular time, I go for my meal from Wanjiru, and the lives of the young people she's touching, and the street children, she deserves a Shujaa award because she's a heroine.
And when Mwangi was also...
Absolutely, she does. And it's really amazing to see people doing, such deeds, in a world where there's so much negativity. And especially today as we commemorate World, Children's Day. So it's really, really amazing, Muthoka.
Totally.
Yes, thank you so much, Mwangi Maina and David Muthoka. Always a pleasure having you on Good Vibes. And I'm looking forward to seeing you soon in Nairobi, or not. Anyway, thank you so much for staying with us here on TV 47 Weekend. Let's take a short breather. We'll be back with much more, including the sports news in just a moment.